Hello everyone, welcome to 30-minute yoga. I'm back in a usual spot but looking a little different. So renovations continue in my house. So you might hear people walking around, you might hear things outside. There's lots of activity outside as well. So I'm going to try to bring my focus into just this little space. I encourage you to do the same, and the next 30 minutes is about you and about what you are going to do on your mat. So I'm going to come down onto my mat and make your way down and come to our starting Savasana position, connecting the back of the body to the mat, closing your eyes or just softening your gaze. And the whole front of your body is going to be rising and falling with your breath. Listening to the sound of the inhale and the exhale through your nose. And doing that body scan from the top of your head down to your toes. Trying to identify any areas where you might be holding on to tension, sending your breath there with the intent to relax. If you're finding that that's a struggle, then no judgment gets passed, or else the tension will actually increase. It's just about noticing where it is. And maybe in the next 30 minutes, as we do some movements and we check in at the end of class, we might find that things are different, and maybe we don't. Again, no judgment there. This is about awareness. So the chest and the abdomen are rising and falling. We can also place our hands so that we can feel with another sense the up and down movement. Or keep those hands with palms facing up to the sides of your mat. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose and holding at the top. Opening the mouth and exhaling with a sigh. Doing that again. Inhale through the nose, hold at the top. Open the mouth, exhale with a sigh. Back to normal breathing, in and out through the nose. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Start to wake up with a roll through the wrists and ankles. Reach up nice and tall with your hands over your head, stretching fingers and toes in opposite directions. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring those knees in and come in for a hug. And just roll side to side. You can keep your eyes closed. You can slowly start to open if that's where you're comfortable. Bring that head up, shoulders up, into a little ball. And then slowly bring head and shoulders back down, taking those hands in between, arms in between your knees, hands on the outside of your feet. And continue to roll side to side in a happy baby. Bottom of your feet look like we're going to take a walk on the ceiling. And now just hold still. Release, hug those knees in again, and then extend one leg. You can bring the foot right down to the floor or hover for a little bit more engagement through the core. Bring the knee in, switch to the other side. Again, either resting on the floor or hovering. And let's bring that in again, switching. Those toes are pulled back to your nose. And switch again. Bring both knees in, head up, last little roll into a ball. And then let's bring the head and shoulders down. Right arm above your head, roll over to the right side, and make your way up into table position. Hopping on your toes, knees hip-width apart, fingers spread, and then turning those elbow creases forward without locking the arms. Sag the belly down, inhale, in cow, and now round up, pull the belly button in, into cat, and exhale. Cow, inhale, cat, exhale. Breathing through the nose. Cow and cat. 2 more. Coming to a flat back when you've finished your last one. Looking over your left shoulder towards your left hip, feeling the right side of your body expand. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, looking over your right shoulder towards your right hip. And back to center. Taking those hands just slightly forward. Oh, no, we're going to bring them back. I wanted to do one more thing before we go into downward dog. So those hands are back right under your shoulders again. And we're just going to slightly lift up the knees and hover. Engage through the core. Don't hold your breath. Bring it back down. If you need to, you can do a cow and a cat. Come back to a flat back. We're going to do that again. Hover those knees, not lifting up very high. Nice work for the core. Bring it back down. And again, move through cow, cat if you need to. Now let's move those hands slightly forward. Ready to prop up onto your toes, flip back into downward facing dog. And walking out side to side, stretching down the back of the legs. You can really exaggerate the hips side to side if it feels good. And then gradually come to stillness, pressing chest towards the floor, tail up to the ceiling. And those knees slightly and lift up the left leg. 3-legged dog. Bring that knee into your nose. Back up behind you. Inhale. Bring the knee to the left elbow. Back up. And bring the knee to the right elbow. Extending the leg through the keyhole of your hand and your foot on the right side. And we slowly flip over. Now you can keep your foot down on the ground, or you can raise it up. Again, engaging the core. Bring your hand down, slowly back. Lift that leg up. And now we're going to bring it all the way through in between your hands. Helping yourself up into a crescent lunge. Bring those arms nice and strong, biceps by your ears. Lift up onto the toes of the back leg. Settle into the pose. Breathe. On your next inhale, pivot that back foot into Warrior Two. Relax the shoulders, strong arms, and then settle your gaze over your front fingers. pressing that front thigh to the back of your mat. Still being able to see your toes past your front knee. Flip the front palm, reaching back, exalt your warrior. And back to warrior two. Then that elbow rested on your thigh like a shelf. And reach up, keep the shoulder pulling back. We can reach up to the ceiling. We can keep our hand on our hip. Or we could actually take the arm and reach towards the front of the room or the top leg and really feel a stretch on the top side of the body. Slowly coming back, and let's do one more. Exalt. Then coming right down, cartwheeling the hands, stepping back, and we're in our first plank. If you choose, you can have your knees down. We're going to slowly lower down and come up into Cobra. So not too high and not straining on the neck. Flip your toes, press back through table or right into downward facing dog. Walk it out if you need to. And then settle. And the knees lift up the right leg, three-legged dog. Bring the knee into your nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to your right elbow. Three-legged dog. Knee to your left elbow. Extending your leg. You can rest it down on the ground. Then turn to your side and lifting if you choose, or leaving that foot on the ground. And slowly coming back. Extend up. Bring the knee and the toes right through between your hands. Help yourself up. Crescent lunge, second side. Rise up onto the toes of your back leg. You can put a bit of a backwards lean onto your crescent lunge, or stay with those shoulders stacked over your hips. Coming back, straight up. And now turning into warrior two. Settle into your pose. Be aware of your breathing. Shoulders relaxed, arms strong. Flipping the front palm, reach back, exalt your warrior. Coming back to warrior two. Bending your front arm, resting it on your thigh like a shelf. Reaching up. Maybe you want your hand to stay on your hip. Or we can reach up and over and really extend and feel that stretch on the left side of our body. Coming back, warrior two. One last exalt. And let's come back. This time we straighten the leg, bring the arms down, and turn your foot so that you're facing the long edge of your mat. And getting ready to go into a goddess pose. So you may need to do some adjustment with your feet. My feet don't go directly forward, they go slightly out. And I try to keep my chest open, my shoulders back, feeling it through the glutes. So we're all going to have various heights where we're going to land and stay with our hips. We can bring hands to heart center or out into our cactus arms. Feel those legs working. Bring those hands in, slowly coming up. Bring those toes a little bit more forward. And we're going to slowly start to lean forward, hinging from the hips. And now I'm just going to encourage you to bring a prop with you if you'd like to bring the floor a little closer. So again, we're leaning forward, and if we have a stack of books, a yoga block, a little stool, it can help support us. We want our back flat. And we slowly come down. We all choose different stages or levels where we're going to stop. Maybe yours is here. Maybe yours is here. Some of you might want to take those legs even further apart and come down, wide-legged forward fold. Come up just a little bit, walk over to the right, and just lean into that right leg. You can keep both hands on the ground, or we can do a little twist. Bring your hand down, slowly making your way to the other leg. And again, staying here. We can even have our block here to help. Twisting if it's in your practice. Slowly coming back to center. Slowly start to walk those feet heel to toe so they're coming in closer together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center. And stepping now to the top of your mat. Inhale. Swan dive down. Flat back. Hands down, step back, one leg then the other. Chaturanga, Dandasana, slowly lower down. Push-ups if you'd like. And if you're ready, into an upward facing dog. Let's land those knees, slowly press back. And take the knees wider than the hips. And come into some form of child's pose. Active with the arms still out. Or resting with the hands underneath your forehead. And slowly coming up. Our next pose is pigeon. So we're going to go into downward facing dog. And then pigeon, just very quickly. Pigeon looks like our front leg folded in front of us. Staying up either nice and tall or coming down low. The option, if you don't like pigeon, is to go into a figure 4 stretch. So we still hit the same area. So you're either going to lay down on your back, or you're going to come into your downward facing dog. Extend one leg behind you. And as we bring it in, we start to turn the leg and land it. It may not be exactly parallel with the short edge of the front of your mat, But that's what we're trying to do. And then I just take a look back at my foot, and I'm extending like the tail of the pigeon, keeping the shoulders up as we start this stretch. And here's our block if we'd like to use it. You can help raise the floor, or we can go down a little lower. Or even lower still if it's in your practice. Breathing through this pose. Lots of feels in this one. If you're in a figure 4 stretch, making sure your toes are pulling back toward your knees on both feet. Your hands are through the keyhole. And we're slowly going to come out of the pigeon, ready to flip back into downward facing dog. And let's just walk it out a little bit. If you're in your figure 4 stretch, both feet are down on the ground now, and maybe do some windshield wipers with the knees slowly side to side. Coming to stillness, switching to your second side. Slowly bring the knee in, and we're going to again turn that leg so it's close to parallel with the front short edge of your mat. Chucking the back leg nice and long, top of my foot down on the mat. Lots of options. Stay up nice and tall. I feel the stretch here in my right glutes. Again, make use of your block towel if you need to, if you need a prop. One side can be different from the other, so it may have been comfortable to go down low on one side, not so much on the second. Or it could be the different way where the second side is more flexible. Or maybe you're pretty much equal. Again, this is an intense stretch, so breathe, focus on your breathing. If you need to come out of it, listen to your body. And slowly making your way up, flipping your back toe, and coming into downward facing dog. If you're in your figure 4, both feet are down, and you're doing the windshield wiper move with your legs. Holding for your last downward facing dog. And then let's bring those knees down. And we're going to flip around and bring ourselves all the way down to the floor. Slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Bring both knees into the chest. And let's just roll those knees in one direction. Sorry, they're going in opposite direction. Big circles. Slow it down. And now let's roll in the opposite direction. And let's just hug in, little ball. Slowly roll down. Bring the arms between your knees, hands grabbing onto your ankles or outside of your feet. Happy baby. Still, or maybe it's active. Your choice. Release that and bring your hands to your mat. Legs are extended in waterfall, and you can choose to support on the back of your thighs. Pull those toes down towards your nose. You can support under your hips if you feel more comfortable just having a little prop there. Take a walk. Give it a shake. And slowly knees in and bring one foot down, then the other. Extend. We're going to move our hips over to the right side of our mat. Feet to the left bottom corner and cross one foot over the other. And our hands are going to reach above our head and also reach to the opposite corner of our hips. So if our hips are over to the right, our feet and our hands are reaching to the left. And we're making a crescent shape, stretching along the right side of our body. Slowly bring the arms back, uncross the legs, and let's move those hips over to the left edge of our mat. Feet to the right bottom corner, cross the left leg on top. Arms reaching to the top right corner. Big crescent shape stretching out the left side of our body. Taking a few breaths here. And now slowly bringing the arms back, uncross your legs, settle into the center of your mat. Extend the feet to the bottom corners, let your toes roll out. Arms slightly wider than your mat, palms facing up. And either closing your eyes or keeping your gaze soft. Final Savasana. Lots of stretching today. Asking the body to hold some positions or do some movements that we might not have in our day-to-day lives. Just reflect on how that felt. Maybe it helped to release some tension, or it woke up some body parts. And again, just paying attention to breathing in and out, rise and fall, chest and abdomen. Slowly starting to bring awareness back to your mat, fingers and toes slowly start to wiggle. Bring those feet in, bend the knees, roll over to one side or the other. Slowly press up, come to a seated position. Get comfortable, sit up nice and tall. Your gaze is still soft. Hands to heart center. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh and exhale. Do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Back to in and out through the nose. you for joining me today. Whatever's going on in your environment, I hope you've enjoyed 30 minutes of an opportunity to challenge, to reflect, maybe to rest. But to take care of you is what the real intent is. And remember, self-care is not being selfish. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day.